When you look at the day's headlines, it can all feel pretty chaotic, right? Just a random jumble of stories. But if you look a little closer, you start to see the threads, the patterns connecting everything. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Let's make some sense of it all.
So here's our game plan. We're going to look at 5 big themes. We'll kick things off with the super high-stakes tension in the Middle East. Then we'll shift over to Pakistan, looking at pressure on its borders and some of the challenges at home. After that, we'll zoom out for a quick look at the wider global stage. And we'll finish up with how the start of Ramadan is being celebrated around the world.
Okay, first up, we have a situation that has the entire world holding its breath. The long-running standoff between the United States and Iran, well, it really feels like it's about to boil over. And here it is. This is the headline that's got the whole region on a knife edge. Reports are coming out of the U.S. that a military strike against Iran is a very real possibility, and that it could happen in a matter of days. Now, here's the crucial part. The reports all say that a final decision has not been made. The order hasn't been given. Yet. This is basically a high-stakes chess match. On one side, you've got the U.S., which is clearly deep in military planning, but at the same time, they're keeping a diplomatic door open with these indirect talks. And on the other side, Iran is flexing its own muscle. We're talking major naval drills in the Strait of Hormuz, a huge deal for global oil, plus a rocket launch. Both sides are signaling they mean business, which makes this an incredibly tense situation.
And of course, this isn't happening in a bubble. The ripple effects are already being felt. In Israel, a major U.S. ally, the government has put the entire country on high alert. They've even told citizens to stay near their bomb shelters. I mean, that alone tells you just how seriously everyone in the region is taking this.
Okay, let's shift our focus now from the Middle East over to South Asia, because a whole different kind of pressure is building as Pakistan finds itself dealing with huge security challenges on 2 of its most sensitive borders at the same time.
So the situation with Afghanistan has gotten really serious really fast. It all started on February 16th with a deadly attack across the border that killed 11 Pakistani soldiers. So Pakistan responded diplomatically. They called in Afghanistan's envoy for what's known as a démarche, which is basically a formal official protest. But then things kicked up a notch. Pakistan's defense minister came out with a direct warning. If the border isn't secured, airstrikes inside Afghanistan are on the table.
And you just have to listen to this quote from Defense Minister Khawaja Asif. It is incredibly blunt. He not only says that, yeah, military action is an option, but then he connects it to India, saying that Kabul and New Delhi are on the same page. So what he's doing here is framing this as a potential threat on 2 fronts, which is a really big deal. And speaking of that other front, well, the situation with India is still pretty icy. Pakistan just extended its airspace closure for all Indian planes, we're talking military and civilian, for another 2 years. This has been going on since April of 2025, and it's a very real sign of just how frozen things are between the 2 countries.
Now, while all of this pressure is building up on the outside, Pakistan is also facing some really significant crises at home. So we're going to pivot from the borders and look at what's happening inside the country's cities and institutions.
16. Sometimes a single number can tell a whole story. And in this case, it's the number at the heart of a terrible tragedy that just hit the city of Karachi. 16 people lost their lives after a building collapsed in Karachi, and it looks like a gas leak explosion was the cause. The victims included a 10-year-old girl and a woman. Just heartbreaking. But in the middle of all that tragedy, there was this one incredible moment of hope. Rescuers actually pulled a 14-year-old girl out of the rubble alive. An official investigation into what happened is now underway. Now, in a totally different world, there's another kind of crisis brewing. This one is inside the organization that's supposed to be protecting and promoting Pakistan's national sport. So get this. The president of the Pakistan Hockey Federation just quit. And he is not going quietly. He's openly accusing the National Sports Board of total mismanagement, saying they held back funds meant for the Pro League. And the crazy part? This is after the Prime Minister had already signed off on 25 crore rupees for hockey. So now he's demanding a formal inquiry into the whole mess. And on the political scene, a quick but important update. The government is shutting down any rumors of a potential deal. They've come out and said very clearly that there will be no deal or relief for the jailed founder of the PTI party, doubling down on his status as a court-convicted criminal. All right, let's zoom back out for a quick rapid-fire round of some other big moves and tensions playing out across the rest of the world. Trade tensions across the Atlantic are definitely simmering. Germany has sent a crystal clear message to the US. If you go ahead with new tariffs on European countries, you can bet we will hit back with our own. It's a pretty stark reminder that even close allies are having a tough time on the economic front right now. This is interesting. As Moscow and Riyadh celebrate 100 years of diplomatic ties, Russia's foreign minister is calling Saudi Arabia a key strategic partner. Seeing these two global energy giants get closer, well, that's a huge geopolitical shift that could really shake up alliances and global markets down the line. And for our final stop today, we're going to completely shift the tone. As the holy month of Ramadan gets underway, we're starting to see stories that aren't about conflict, but are about community, about compassion, popping up all over the globe. And this is just fantastic. It shows two very different ways of marking the occasion. Over in the UK, big supermarkets are cutting prices on essentials like flour and rice for the Muslim community. I mean, a 10-kilo bag of flour is literally half price. Then in the UAE, you have this incredible gesture of clemency from the government. They're releasing more than 3,000 prisoners. And get this, the state is also going to pay off their debts. Talk about giving someone a real fresh start. So as we connect all these dots today, from military standoffs and border tensions to crises at home, and then to these incredible acts of goodwill, it kind of leaves you with a big question, doesn't it? In a world that seems so full of interconnected problems, maybe it's in these moments of shared community, of clemency. Maybe that's where we find the real signs of hope.